Hello and welcome to this hip-focused flow. It's only short, so we're going to get started straight away in child's pose. Wide-legged child's pose, if you can. Knees as wide as the mat, big toes touching, leaning forwards towards the earth or a prop. Have your forehead supported either by the earth, a brick, a bolster. Encourage your fingers down the mat away from you and encourage your hips towards your heels. And just begin to notice how it feels to be still. Can you get your breath all the way down into your lower back? Breathe into your lower back. Breathe into your hips. Maybe you breathe into your inner thighs here. Drawing your hips towards your heels and your fingers away from you. Lengthen your arms. Continue to breathe all the way down into your lower back. And then from here, let's slowly rise. Begin to bring your hands towards your knees and gently bring your knees together. We're coming into a tabletop position. Hands are underneath your shoulders and knees are underneath your hips. Here, let's just move through some organic movements. Cats, cows, figures of eights. Do whatever your spine needs here. And move with your breath. Maybe you are inhaling to arch and exhaling to tuck and round. Moving your spine. And then come to neutral. Somewhere in between those two, can you step your right leg out to the side? Bring your right leg out and let's just rock backwards and forwards here. Back toes can be tucked. Feel a stretch down your back sole of your foot. And then from here, come to stillness. Push through both hands equally and begin to hover your right toes up and off the mat. Holding here. And then slowly take that straight leg behind you. Bend your knee, shine the sole of your foot to the sky. And here, can you slowly lift and lower? Lifting and lowering. Keep your foot flexed. And then come to stillness and take your knee out to the side. So keep your hips level and just move your knee out to your right side. Opening and closing your hip joint. We'll go for about 5. And then come to stillness. And we'll take that into a big circle. Draw a circle with your knee. It's coming from your hip joint. But imagine that you're drawing a circle with your knee. A few in one direction and then a few in the other. Okay. And then we'll come to stillness. Hold for a moment. And then replace your knee back into your tabletop position. We're going to do that on the other side. So in your tabletop position this time, can you bring your left leg out to the side? Rocking forwards and backwards here. Left foot is planted on your earth. And your right toes can be tucked. Feel a stretch down the sole of your right foot. Okay, come to stillness. Push through both hands equally and begin to hover your left toes up and off the mat, holding. And then from here, take that straight leg all the way behind you. keeping your toes up and off the mat. Nice straight leg to start with, and then we bend and pulse, lifting and lowering. This time your left knee. Left foot is flexed. Hold in stillness, and then from here, bring your knee out to the side. Left foot lifts, left knee, ankle, stay in line. You're pushing through both hands equally. Nice stable foundation. And then we'll come to stillness and draw a circle with your knee. It's coming from your hip joint, remember. Imagine your hip joint making that circle, and then take that in the opposite direction. Nice big circle. You might feel this in your core as well. Okay, come to stillness, and then slowly replace your knee back into a tabletop position. Maybe come off your wrists. Give your wrists some love. And then from here, we're going to come up into a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, push through your hands, and lift your hips nice and high. First downward facing dog. So let's pedal our feet on the spot. Just warming up the backs of your legs here. Feel a release down your calves, your hamstrings. And then bring your feet together for me. Bend both of your knees and just draw your chest a little bit closer towards your thighs. And then from here you can encourage those heels towards the earth a little, but we're going to take a twist. So slowly drop both of your heels towards your right side. Keep a bend in your knees and maybe feel a stretch down the left side of your body. And then come back to centre and do that in the opposite way. So bend both of your knees and drop your heels towards your left. Push through both hands equally. Push your hips towards your heels and then come back to centre. Okay, you can take your feet a little wider again now. And from here, raise your right leg high. Right leg lifts, bend your right knee and split your dog. Open out your right hip, maybe gaze underneath your left armpit. Try and catch a glimpse of your right toes. And then from here, square your hips, straighten your leg, replace your right foot to the mat. We'll do that on the other side. So left leg high. Encourage your right heel towards the floor. Bend your right knee and then bend your left knee. And then open your hip, maybe glance underneath your right armpit this time. Take a look at your left toes. Square your hips, straighten your leg, replace your foot to the mat, lower your knees. Again, come off your wrists. Okay, we're coming back up into downward facing dog. Lift your hips high, find your downward facing dog and lift your right leg to the sky. This time you're going to bend your knee and bring that knee through towards your nose. Cross it over towards your left elbow, right elbow, left elbow, right elbow, kick back. Again, knee to nose. This time we're stepping through into a runner's lunge. From your runner's lunge, your right leg is forwards. We're going to take a wide leg forward fold. So walk your hands around towards your left side of your mat. Swivel on your feet so that you're hanging in a wide-legged forward fold. From here, take a bend into your right knee. I'm going to mirror you now. So bend into your right knee. Walk your hands over towards your right foot. I'm going to take that to the other side. Bend into your left knee. Walk your hands over towards your left foot. I'm going to do that one more time with an option to go a little bit further. Maybe you lift the toes on your left foot. Maybe you lift the heel of your right foot. Find your version of your Skandasana or stay in your high lunge. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight. We're going over to the opposite side. Bend your left knee. Straighten your right. Maybe lift your right toes. Maybe lift your left heel. Find your version of your Skandasana. And then from here, plant both feet firmly on the mat and take a walk back round to your right foot. Plant your hands, you're back at the top of your mat. We're coming back into that three-legged dog. Right leg lifts high. Replace your right foot to the mat. We're going to do that on the other side. So this time your left leg rises. Bend your left knee. Bring your left knee towards your nose and hold for a moment. We're going to go from elbow to elbow. So left knee to right elbow. Left knee to left elbow. Left knee to right elbow. And to your left. And kick back. Okay, we're stepping through. Bend your left knee. Step forwards into your runner's lunge and hold for a moment in your runner's lunge. Left leg is forwards, right leg is back. Take a walk now with your hands round towards the right side of your mat and find your forward fold. Find your wide-legged forward fold, left side of your mat. This time we're going left leg first. Bend your left knee. Find your high lunge or straight into your Skandasana. Holding here. And let's move over to the other side. Bend your right knee. Straighten your left leg. Maybe this time you release your hands from the mat. We're going to do that one more time on each side. So back over to your left. And then over to your right. Walk your hands back round to frame your front foot. Your hands are framing your left foot this time. Plant your hands back into your three-legged dog. Kick that left leg high. Replace your left leg. Slowly lower your knees and come off your wrists. Well done, everyone. Okay, we've got one more little sequence. Let's come back into your downward facing dog. Find your down dog. Okay, from here, right leg high. Right leg high, bend your right knee, split your right dog. Split your dog, open your right hip. Maybe gaze underneath your left elbow, armpit, glazing at your right toes. And from here, square your hips, keep your right knee bent. Shift your body weight forward, right knee to nose. Knee to left elbow, knee to right elbow. Knee to left elbow. This time, straighten your right foot and allow your foot to land wherever it wants to land. The higher up your mat is, the more of a release you will feel. The lower down, maybe a little bit more accessible. So find where your right foot can land comfortably and plant your left heel. Okay, maybe here your left arm lifts. Feeling a release in your outer right thigh. Maybe your right foot lifts. Holding. If you lifted your right foot, lower your foot. Land your left hand, re-swivel on your left toes. Hold here for a moment. How low can you get your hips? And then from here, we're coming back to that three-legged dog. Raise your right leg high, land your right toes. We're doing that on the other side. Left leg rises, bend your left knee, open your left hip, gaze underneath your right armpit, find your left toes, square your hips, left knee to nose, left knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow, left knee to right, and straighten your left leg. Land your left foot wherever is comfortable for you. And then plant your right heel. Take a full twist over to your left, to your right, and maybe lift your left foot. Holding here. And then replace your left hand, right hand. Find your three-legged dog. Find your four-legged dog. Slowly lower your knees. Take a child's pose. Come off your wrists. Take a breather. Come back to your tabletop position. In your tabletop position, can you cross your right knee in front of your left? Get there however you need to get there. I'm just going to take a quick stretch here. Cross your right knee in front of your left and bring your feet as wide as your mat. And here you can rock forwards and backwards, feeling a release in your outer hips. If you want to go all the way back, maybe you use your props to allow your hips to come into contact with something. Maybe you can get all the way down. Just releasing your outer hips. And then from here, make your way back into your tabletop position. We're going to take that on the other side. So get there however you need to get there this time. Your right knee comes to the centre of the mat and your left knee is crossing in front. Knees are in line, feet are as wide as the mat. And again here, you can rock forwards and backwards. Or you can lower all the way down to the earth. Remain in stillness. Find a nice release down your outer hips, maybe into your lower back. One more round of breath here. Holding wherever feels nice or continuing to move. And then from here, come back to your tabletop position. Take your knees as wide as the mat. We will finish how we started. Come back to your wide-legged child's pose. And just notice how this feels after all of that juicy movement. Notice if you feel different now in this position to how you did at the beginning of the practice. Slow down your breathing. Please stay here as long as your time permits. If you wish to move onto your back into Shavasana posture, then please do. Or hold this position for as long as you feel comfortable and safe. This is where I shall leave you. Namaste.